Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another night of UGC League. Tonight we got some intermediate teams here. It will be, I'm blanking on team names.
Centennial Union Masters.
Centennial Union Masters and Element Amplify. So it's some great teams tonight. They are respectively 12 and 13 in the rankings. Both of them already have qualified for the playoffs. So there is no danger in them getting dropped out, but they do have the danger of facing some even better teams if they go ahead and drop down in the rankings. I am Lightning. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Adamsmasher. So, Mr. Adam, how are you doing tonight?
Doing just fine.
You do? Oh, okay. I thought you would be moving. Alright.
I got nothing.
Yeah, doing fine. You know what? Sometimes that's all you need. Yes, they're gonna be it simple. Both teams Metro teleporting onto point. Absolute chaos. Ripping into this contest point. And we don't even have a chance to get an eye on what's going on here as team members are dropping left and right for both of these. Candy Pop dropping. That is a huge drop on Element Amplify. Candy Pop. There may lots of versatility taken out here as everyone's just dropping off, and that will go to Centennial Masters for the first point as they just have a lone Lucio roguing around the map.
Oh man, this could have gone either way. Both teams had the right idea. They were just trying to outflank the other or try to catch the other team off guard, but just both teams are just ready for it. It's just Centennial Union just had the better versatility that time around. I should say a better. Just the better end of the stick there.
Yeah, and what Maywall out of Walter DW to go ahead and deny that on the point to make sure that this symmetric teleport wasn't effective. They're being held up here at the start. Element Amplify having a hard time, and there's the Blizzard. Walter DW and Xiuna are putting in absolute monstrous amounts of work, and there is the stagger kill on the Diva. And Shiro and the Diva will have to go ahead and recollect with their team here before they're able to push back on the point.
And stellar defense out of the side of Centennial Union. That Blizzard just to ensure that they're able to get more points on there and to ensure that Papa Bless and Croy have their ults on standby. Penguin looking awfully close to getting that Earth Shatter, but they need to be careful if Sauron gets has a Shatter on standby.
Oh, and that is a big pick on Sauron as we got a bunch of ults coming out. There's the Blizzard from Candy Pop, the Symmetra while Sauron and the Diva have their ults. As here comes Candy Pop pushing on the point. Element Amplify coming in strong to contest this point. The Diva boot off the map. Creo putting in work on that Lucio, getting a lot of value here. Finally taken out by Sauron. And it looks like Element Amplify will indeed capture the point back after losing 84% on the point. And there will be a pause coming out here from, I believe, the side of Union Masters as one of them are lagging.
Alright, so let's go back to that last battle. Candy Pop was pretty much responsible for those kills, helping Shiro get rid of 3 by assistance. A bad mouse from Blizzard there. And given that Shiro could do a lot of good damage as Symmetra with the beam going to max power, with Candy Pop getting another kill there. And now look at this. 3 ults on standby on the side of Amplify. Dawn's got another Earth Shatter on standby. The Diva player for Amplify does have the self-destruct. Seeing we get the payback there from what Papa Bless did from earlier. Whisper does have that sound barrier when things can get a bit dicey. And we've seen that sound barrier save a bunch of lives in a lot of instances. It's a very handy tool, unless after it's done you have an EMP that comes out of a Sombra, then otherwise your sound barrier is going to be for nothing. But we don't see any Sombras here, so Whisper can breathe a little sigh of relief there. Penguin does have a Earth Shatter as well, and we're going to be unpaused. We see Amplify trying to get their little zone defense ready to go for another push from Centennial Union, who is only going to have that Earth Shatter on standby, which we've seen a lone ult can just make a difference here, and we're going to see if that happens potentially in the next team fight.
Yeah, and now the hammer down coming out, the Diva coming out, that's huge, and it doesn't get anybody. That's actually really bad, as it does not pop a Bless off the map, as he did go to jump and reset. but Amplify will lose the point here, as I don't think they're ready for that strong of a push out of Union.
Oh man, I just don't think they were either. The Earthshatter might have scared Amplify. I didn't feel like they got much out of it, but now look at this. You're up to 95% counting. You got a blizzard that's coming out. That's gonna be sure that they don't make it, but that doesn't matter. We got someone. The D player makes it in for this final fight.
Yeah, and double sound barriers coming out for both sides. It's the Metro Wall coming out from Shield. Papa Blast holding on to that Diva Bomb. Waiting to maybe use it to remake. There's the Diva Bomb coming out on point. It goes ahead and gets Sora out. That is huge. And DMX, the Diva on Amplify. Now the enemy Symmetra coming out of Shiro, as we see the Diva player getting knocked out of the play after being DMX'd. And good job from Union going ahead and making use of what they have. Doomfist on point, causing havoc. Lucius being a nuisance. And Ryan Slam coming back as Soran is taken out by Cactulor. And it will fall to Union of Masters here on this first round. A hard-fought battle, but Union of Masters holding out just a little bit better than the Element Amplify was able to.
Yeah, and that's probably because the wise usage of the ultimates, especially Walter DW, I think was the May player from the last round. And yes, he would pop that blizzard at the front entrance just to ensure that the team from Amplify gets scattered around and had to go around. And that was pretty much what helped Union pretty much pick them off pretty much one at a time in that one. So if you can't get a kill with an ult, just scatter them with it. Just do that. It looks like, oh my goodness.
They really love their Symmetra teleports, these guys, as they're immediately into the thick of it. Candy Pop already taken out. You got Soran down. The Diva's gonna be G-Max. Shiro's out. Calc Teacher is out. And we gotta drop off the map. Double boop by Whisper. Shiu and Walter falling victim to Whisper. And he does get out of the map for his troubles.
Yeah, I think he's just going for like extra credit here. This right. If you don't win, if you don't get the map, just go out in style. Get a double boop there. That's all you pretty much can do.
And Penguin with the hammer down, not gonna get a lot of value out of that as it was shielded off. The denial on the ult, but Soren, Shiro, and Candy Pop dropping immediately. Whisper being dropped, Cal Teacher being dropped, and the Diva just dipped out of there. Said, I don't want any of this. I just saw my teammates die. But they came back, which is a little bit of an interesting situation there. It gets booped off the map anyways. A little bit of disrespect from Creo.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna see a switch. Whisper gonna be going on the Mercy. We're gonna see some Pharmacy here, as we see a bunch of switches out of the side Amplify, the Pharmacy. Let's see what answer we see for Sentinel and Union. Cactulor does have the hit scanner, but not much of a reliable one due to being mostly meant for support. Although if I were Sentinel and Union, I probably would be recommended probably switch it to someone like Soldier 76 or Full Cassidy to try and take care of Candy Pop if they're able to.
And we already see Far getting some good value as he's gonna go ahead and get rid of that immortality field. But Soran and Diva taking out immediately. Calc Teacher down, Shiro low. Papa Bless going ahead and just steamrolling Calc Teacher into the floorboards. Unfortunate for him. And all that is left is Soren on point. Now, you do got a lot of mobility, but they are chasing him down. You do not want that Hammond to stick around. And there's a Hammond down. Sora just dealt with right then and there. A barrage coming out from Candy Pop only gets Calc Teacher, or Calculor there, as blows are being exchanged left and right. And it will be no support on the field here, as the Diva's gonna go ahead and drop the Diva, double Diva bomb. And that is huge. Ultra DW being taken off of the field here. A lot of power taken away from Union of Masters here, as they do lose the May. Chaos ensues on the field here as Candy Pop on the barge, dropping bombs left and right. Teammate coming out. Shiro with that pulse bomb, but not gonna go ahead and get anybody with it, as the Symmetra wall did get some good value out of it for Union of Masters here, as we are in that overtime with 99%, and the Blizzard will go ahead and come out and deny a lot of that point pressure that Amplify would have been able to go ahead and present, as Soren's frozen, losing some health here. A good brawl here on the field. Minefield coming out. That's gonna go ahead and possibly get Walter DW out of the field. Guthix going ahead and taking care of that threat. Blows being exchanged. It is a close fight here, as it looks like it's turning in favor of Amplify, as the Diva's gonna go ahead and take out Calculor off the field. And the Tracer barely able to go ahead and get back Demic on the Diva, and there goes the Diva, and it is so close, and it is going to flop over finally. And what an exchange of blows for that 99% hold.
Oh, that's a good job with the transitioning for Team Amplify, but they didn't get the results as quickly as they wanted to, because they now have allowed 99% progress to be made by Centennial Union. Yes, they have 3 ults on standby, but you gotta watch out for Penguin, because he's gonna eventually have an Earth Shatter on standby, which could pretty much turn the side. You see the Pulse Bomb just is off for nothing on there, so now you're only down to 2 ults on standby to try to get the 34 and counting going up.
But you still have to be very aware of that barrage, which looks like it's going to be coming from behind. Are they aware of it? There was the barrage. It gets one. Walter DW out. And Papa Bless will go ahead and take Candy Pop out, eating the rest of that with the block. And Sara will go ahead and be on the field, going ahead and trying to... And there's the Transcendence and the Diva Bomb. The Res coming out. And Papa Bless going ahead and dropping a Diva Bomb of their own. Not getting anybody, though. Siu going ahead and dropping Pulse Bomb. Doesn't get anyone. Does go ahead and kill Sauron, though. And Guthix for her troubles. And it will be most likely swapping back to Union Masters unless Whisper can go ahead and hold the point long enough. And Contention will go ahead and come back out. Minefield on the point. Overtime taking away. And it will flip back over. Union Masters holding point here as another brawl will ensue on point. Tracer going ahead and being a nuisance on point. Shiro, High Noon popping out, does go ahead and get Candy Pop off the field. Shiro now the only one left to really go ahead and contest, as really all their main presences have been taken off the field. Guthix on the Moira, trying to go ahead and make something happen here. Doesn't go ahead and stick the landing, and it will go ahead and fall to Union and Masters here on Series 1 of this best of 5 series, I do believe.
Yeah, first to 3. Let's take a look at Penguin here, who has just been a big threat on tank. There's a 5 strike there. Just look at everyone together. You swing a hammer. That's asking for a lot of carnage right there. And you can see, wow, they just knocked the Candy Pop down to the abyss of that hammer because, wow. And let's take a look. Look at that 14,659 healing done for Cactalor. That's a lot. That's 36% of team damage healed up. And let's take a look at what I mentioned earlier. Like when they got the result they wanted to flip the point, it just felt like they weren't able to do that fast enough. And that just came back to help Centennial Union there. And the end there, they already were up to 99%. They just needed to flip the point. That's all they had to do. And then just hold it, and boom, that's an easy, pretty much a good win, an easy win in my book for Centennial Union. Although it didn't look easy, because Amplify pretty much stuck around for a little while longer, trying to get the point back. But in the end, some good ultimates out of Centennial Union pretty much helped them out, and pretty much in the end there. But I think it was not Whisper, but Calcteater, those Transcendents kept them alive a little longer, especially when when Walter was popping out the blizzard at one time is what helped them stay alive a little longer.
Yeah, you really gotta go ahead and be wary of those Transcendences when you're gonna be popping out. It may not be effective in all situations. Like if you have a Diva Bomb on the field, you're obviously not gonna go ahead and be able to be saved from that, but I mean, in terms of using the Transcendence to deny that Blizzard from being a bigger effect, I mean, that was huge. It bought them a lot of needed time to go ahead and regroup on that point and make something happen. And I mean, they were able to go ahead and get a fair bit of value out of really all of their ults. It was just Union and Masters were able to go ahead and end team fights very quickly in most situations, and even when they're both teleporting in, when they're basically throwing their heads at each other almost immediately, it just seemed like Union and Masters were more prepared to go ahead and dish out that damage earlier, and get the more important picks on the field rather than how Amplify was able to go ahead and get things done. They did get some good looks, but honestly, I just feel like everything that Amplify is able to do, Union and Masters have just done so with more success and have just done better. It's really just how I can only put it.
So now we see what Amplify is able to do, see what adjustments they could do as we head to Route 66. So we got some good outside action. Like, we've seen some Ash gameplay in this area before, and some sniper action. And when we head inside, I wouldn't really be surprised if we see a Junkrat in there. But you know, most of us UGC casters would love to see some Torbjorn gameplay at the beginning. That's just us personally. But I wouldn't be surprised if, I think Union and Masters is attacking first. They go for the teleporter and head straight to the payload. We've seen that happen with both these teams in both of the rounds that were played at Lijiang Tower. Both of them going for the flank, and both of them were ready to go. It just seems like the Union of Masters just always get the upper hand in the teleporting fight.
Yeah. No, they definitely do. I think that one of the things that Union and Masters can really count on is that they have really strong tank compositions, and that they have players on their DPS that really support those tank comps. And when you have a Mei behind a Reinhardt and a Diva, it makes it so much harder, like exponentially harder, to go ahead and push onto a point than if it was, say, like a Hanzo behind them. Obviously, you're still gonna get a little bit of damage out of it, but that Mei, you get slowed, you get frozen, and it just adds a whole nother factor of chaos into that kind of a push. As we do see, I do kind of want to see a long-range gameplay coming out here. Maybe not Ashe, as I don't think Ashe is as favored as a character as like Widow or Hanzo, as sometimes you don't get a lot of value out of Ashe's ult, as the Bob can go and be booped off the map. It can be just put somewhere where it's not exactly useful, and we did have two Ashes the other day on this map, as Candy Pop is going to be playing the Ashe along with a Hanzo and Jiro, which is a kind of a stark comparison to the Undying or zombie comp that we see out of this this Amplify or Union of Masters. I'm sorry, they did flip teams. You almost got me on that one, Xiuna, but you know, I catch on. It's all right. But Union of Masters going ahead with the zombie comp, which could be an interesting to see how they go ahead and try to manage this double shield composition that we see coming out of the Element Amplify squad.
Now here we are. We're going for the little bit of a dive there with Penguin and Papa Bless going deep. Winston and Diva respectively. So we got a little bit of a hybrid of dive and zombie comp. That would say with the Mei and the Reaper there. We could see some deadly damage. If she could get close enough, could really be decimating to tanks, as we've seen many times before. So far, first off, the Union's gonna be pushing this payload a little more. Looks like Union's gonna allow a little bit of the progress so they can try and stop them in their tracks. They do have the range, which with the Hanzo and the Ashe, and there's that pull effect from the Orisa of Sauron. There's the starter there. The Stigma player will get taken out by Xiu, and you could say the Reaper is one of the best DPSs against a tank. However, Shiro will answer by taking out Walter, so it's one each being taken out of the fight. But it looks like Union Masters is still pushing this payload, so Amplify's gonna need to play with some awareness, and another trade happening. Shiro taking out Penguin, Papa Bless taking Whisper out, and Papa Bless is now out of the mech, and the Sigma player is going to ensure that. And look at this! Union is close to getting the first point, and now the Coalescence is activated, but here comes, two out for each team, and now the Bob comes out courtesy of Candy Pop. Shiro does have the Dragon Strike ready, and it's going to come out, and don't think it's going to get anyone, but Shiro will take out Penguin with his own power, and they will get to stop the time being, but look how close that Union Masters got to hitting point A.
Yeah, and that was a very fast push as well. By no means was that any bit slow. And You also have to worry about the Angry Monkey on this push, as Penguin does have that Primal Rage, which is going to become a huge factor on this next push as they go low here. And immediately go to the point. There goes the Angry Monkey on top.
Meanwhile, Xiuna taking out Shiro. Now we got the Angry Ape on the loose. He's not a monkey, folks. He's an ape. Get it right, folks. Xiuna, meanwhile, taking out both tanks. Call Xiuna the tank killer, because that's going to definitely give point one to not only Xiuna, but the entire team of Xiuna Masters. And look at this extra credit they've gotten. DPS salt on standby. Self-destruct is going to be ready as well, but that's going to go up against the tank ults of Amplify potentially for this next team fight.
Yeah, and you gotta love this kind of aggressive positioning that they've taken up on this stairwell. And they've already been scouted out by the Hanzo, I do believe. Then Shiro is ready and waiting for them, so they're gonna go ahead and retreat down those stairs and go underneath instead, which is gonna give them a little bit more versatility, as there goes the D-Bomb, and it will go ahead and catch Cow Teacher.
Oh, that's a huge... It may have been one kill, but that's a huge pick-off, and Croy taking out Whisper. That's both supports out of the fight, but no way that Amplified out of this. The single player's taking out two of his own, and Sauron will take out Croy as well. So now with this, even with the trade-offs, and even then the Union Masters still somehow finding a way to push this payload further and further. I like the aggressive approach, and now Sauron's having enough of it and trying to stop, and gonna have to be retreat, because all he'll do is just feed all. Shiro, meanwhile, is gonna take out Walter, and there's that Sonic arrow there, so they'll be able to see a little bit. And there's the, oh my goodness, Shiro had his, oh, the Dragon Strike got eaten by Papa Plus. That is a huge upsetting moment there if you're Shiro. But here's Xiuna saying, couldn't use her ult, Shiro? Well, let me show you how it's done. I'll take both supports out with that. Good old Death Blossom. Die, both of you. And YouTube, thanks to Calcator going to Candy Pop. So with not much to go, Union could pretty much go the distance here and make his. So never mind. Sauron saying, no, we're not done yet. And Walter's like, oh, I beg to differ. We're getting that second point, and we're gonna be continuing to get some more elims on you guys. Calc Teacher already out of the fight, and that's asking Union Masters to have more progress made on this payload. And now Papa Bless is gonna activate self-destruct. Won't get anyone, unfortunately. I do like this aggressive approach out of the Union Masters. Meanwhile, Xiuna gets a headshot on Candy Pop. No Bob just yet for you, says Xiuna. And they're gonna continue this push. And with 2.5 left, this is looking good for them.
Now, you do also have to keep an eye out for Shiro, who just switched over to Sombra, and it did look like he was maybe going to go for the Pop Bless Diva kill, but decided against it, and we'll go ahead and join in the team fight, as this one just erupts close to the home here.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of trade-offs happening, and we've seen this many times before with trade-offs happening, but yet the Union of Masters still continuing to make progress on the payload. They're down to 2 minutes. Things are looking good, especially when Xiuna has a Death Blossom on standby. Cactular has a Coalescence on standby, but they do need to be aware of the Bob, though, because that Bob could potentially make a difference. Meanwhile, Xiuna will get hacked, so no Death Blossom just yet. Meanwhile, Coalescence will come out to try to keep the team healthy. Here comes the Blizzard, and that's going to keep the Amplify away from Union for the moment, but here comes Bob. But meanwhile, they need to be very aware. That EMP, that's going to take the entire team. Oh boy, that's 2 already. Oh man, that's going to help Calc Teacher get 3 kills with that Coalescence. And like I mentioned, EMP is dangerous, and we saw the effects as we spoke.
Yeah, one of the things that is so great about Moira is that Coalescence not only damages, it also heals. So it is a great ultimate to go ahead and keep your team in the fight, as looks like Element Amplify has some wind in their sails now as they're going ahead and getting some good picks here. That is a little bit easier being close to home, but there's a lot of ults coming out here for Union Masters, and this could change the whole field here.
Yeah, but you got 2 ults on standby. However, oh my goodness, self-destruct taking out Croy while the Diva player takes out Xiuna with a remake, and now taking out Walter. Oh my goodness, and before finally getting demagged, this This is insane. This is unheard of. Oh my goodness. Amplify, I think, has gotten things down, but Penguin does have the primal rage and could use that to immediately jump onto the point, and looks like he wants to get angry, and for a good reason. You got 4 ults on standby. Xiuna, meanwhile, won't be able to use the Death Blossom just yet. Self-destruct won't get anything. Guthix will get a whisper with the Coalescence. Here comes an angry gorilla. Xiuna unfortunately won't get a kill, but Penguin will against Shiro. Way to take your anger out on the hacker. He's been giving you problems, but 3 members of the Union of Masters already taken out in the blink of an eye. And what a turnaround. That is going to be it for the round. But this is some good progress though for the Union of Masters. And now, if you're Amplify, you know exactly what you have to do. You basically, as we see just a moment, well, not yet. You see the payload that's right there while I'm looking at it. That is close to the circle, close to the end. So, yeah, basically, you know what you have to do. You basically have to complete this map in order to win Route 66.
Yeah, no, you really got to go ahead and be able to bunker down there. And I really thought that, you know, Union of Masters was going to be able to go ahead and reach that final point and push it the rest of the way. But it was a fantastic job by Amplify to go ahead and shut them down at the doorstep, even though they're threatening to push in the rest of the way with those ultimates. It's like, you really got to be aware of where those players are spawning and how close they are, because once you reach that final point, it becomes so much harder to go ahead and coordinate and get everything under control in order to make that last push. And I really think that Amplify played that into their advantage, as they picked characters that are really easily able to go ahead and get back on point. I mean, you had the Moira, you had a Lucio, you had Diva, you had Winston and Sombra, all of which can go ahead and really move around the map quite efficiently. And we see a little bit of a different comp now coming out of this this Union of Master squad, instead much to the difference from the last one. As we see now an Orisa, the soldier, and a Cassidy coming out along with the Brigitte and the Ana. So a little bit different here from Union Masters. See how well this plays into their favor, or whether or not it may just be all for nothing.
Deciding, yeah, they're preferring to go for a little more range. I don't think they want to deal with Candy Pop or maybe Shiro. Oh, I don't think they want to deal with getting hacked so much like what happened to them in the 3rd point. Especially Xiuna probably getting tired of getting hacked, and he gets hacked again. Man, I think Xiuna is Shiro's favorite target to hack so far in this team. In Route 66. How many times has he been hacked? Like 7 times already in Route 66 alone? But I can't keep track. We had some, like a stat tracker, we could track everything that's happening though. That happens, like how many times someone gets hacked, and now Walter suffers getting hacked, and Xiuna's having enough is gonna take Sauron out of the fight, so not the tank out of the way. And you wonder why you don't want to get near Candy Pop, because both DPSs of Amplify, they know why. Yeah, Candy Pop can just do a lot of damage up close to Reaper, and looks like Troy's probably got the nano boost on that one, and it helped take out Whisper in that instance. But Candy Pop saying, yeah, you just out of the fight. So now we got a Deadeye on standby. Doesn't get Xiuna, but it doesn't matter. The Diva player will take out Xiuna, and that is Deadeye, basically Live Eye in that one. And it's that was a good easy push there for Amplify. They had some little to no problems just pushing that payload to the first point there. Now, 416, you got 3 ults on standby versus 2 from, almost 3 from the Union of Masters. We can see what could be happening in this next team fight.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and gather up on this kind of higher ground, and there goes the damage boost, and a lot of ult are coming out. Walter with the attack visor, trying to go ahead and get some value, but as soon as it's popped, the entirety of Amplify is going to go ahead and dip around the back here, all waiting, keeping their patience and waiting for ult, and there they go! And that is a huge series of attacks. And there is a free feed for the Diva player on Element Amplify. What a Diva bomb coming out.
Oh, that Diva player saying, Well, I died from Papa Blood's self-destruct. Well, let me take 3 of you with me as tribute for that one. That was huge to help Union Masters, or I should say Amplify in this case. Excuse me there. Help push his payload a little more. Now they got some more breathing room. They can play the aggressive approach. And it looks like Amplify, Union Masters, excuse me, is going to be, now they're going to come out and hopefully they can figure out something. They only have the sound barrier working for them as Candy Pop gets taken out of the fight. Here comes sound barrier. The rest of the team will benefit from it. Now Shiro's gonna have an EMP, and we saw how dangerous that was. It takes 4 there. Any value will take. Both supports are instantly deleted from existence, and a hack from Shiro and Walter. Nothing you can do, and Whisper will finish him off, and things are looking very good for Amplify. Sarhan going Angry Ape and taking out Papa Bless, and then later on Penguin. And that is easy point B capture for Union, or I should say Element Amplify. I'm getting my teams mixed up.
Yeah, it gets us all sometimes as we watch Shiro going ahead and flanking behind. I think there's going to play in a big factor as Shiro wants to go ahead and hack these guys and make sure that they're able to go ahead and get some value out of it. As, like you said, Element Amplify is not having many problems going ahead and pushing his cart. They are getting a lot of value here. Though they will go ahead and collect the pause out of Union Masters, trying to possibly collect themselves. I mean, they have been having a very rough time, and that is a lot of time on the clock for Amplify here. They got 3 minutes and 15 seconds still left on the clock to go ahead and reach that 3rd point. So, I mean, a lot of time left, a lot of value to be had out of these players. But you got a you got 2 ults coming into this next push in Shiu and Croy. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they're going to be able to use that, as Calculator has his very close and Papa Blast also has his fairly close. So this one should realistically go into the favor of Union Masters and be able to at least stall a little bit here, because this is really where the home stretch is, and this is where team favor kind of go ahead and switches.
And we've been surprised before when we thought it would go Union Masters' way at the end of the 1st round, and all of a sudden Amplify was able to get those quick kills, and now here comes the rally to supply the armor to get ready for this next team fight. I don't think they want to hang around with Candy Pop with the Death Blossom close to being ready. Meanwhile, the Coalescence is about ready. She used Paul's Bomb, unfortunately, will get eaten up by the D player from Amplify. And now Coalescence will activate, and now we got the self-destruct. Won't get anyone, but Calc and Candy Pop will each get a kill with their ultimates respectively, and now 2 other players will get the sound barrier for Whisper. Here comes the minefield, and I don't think Amplify is fooled at all, and Calcator is out of the fight, but Cal Teacher is out as well. But Walter able to take Sauron 6 feet under the ground with that Death Blossom. Croy able to pretty much Mace Whip Candy Pop out there. That's that mace shot there, and Croy will take the D player out. So a good defensive hold so far, but they're gonna have to deal with an EMP potential in this next team fight.
Yeah, the EMP is gonna pack a lot of punch in this next team fight as Shiro already coming up behind the lines, and you see just how versatile that somber play can be. But as they go into this final push, you really got to be wary of where everybody is and try to possibly spread out here so that way maybe the EMP isn't as big of a factor.
Well, the EMP only gets 2, but that could be a huge factor as the both hacked players already get taken out of the fight. You lose a tank and a healer, and with Cactular out, it could pretty much be the nail in the coffin for the Union of Masters in Route 66 while the Coalescence is in play. Candy Pop is gonna finish off Croy with the Death Blossom. That's pretty much gonna do it. That's how Amplify is gonna take Route 66.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. I mean, Amplify really coming into their own rhythm here as Cal Teacher with a very deserved play of the game here as we watch this just beautifully used Coalescence to go ahead and drop a 3-bomb right off the rip and keep his team nice and healthy with a very, very impressive 18,000 healing. Only 35%, kind of surprisingly, but the other thing you gotta point out is that Diva player with 48 kills or eliminations with a 64% on the kill participation, which is a big stat line. I mean, they got a lot of value out of those Diva Bombs and a lot of those pushes, especially on that 3K, which I'm kind of surprised the Diva Bomb didn't get the play of the game, but you know what?
Yeah, I think it had to do with some of the healing there that Calc Teacher pulled there during that final payload stopping push in round 1 there. I'll bet it had to do something with that. But anyways, any of you guys hungry for some ramen noodles? Well, here's some ramen we can tell you about. For season 17, UGC League is fueled by our friends at Vite Ramen. And what is Vite Ramen, you ask? It is the high protein noodle that does it all. Just head to shop.viteramen.com/discount/UGC and order whatever you would like. There's lots of flavors there, and once you're finished, make sure you use that code UGC at checkout. What's it do for you? Well, it'll save you 10% on your order. And I have heard a lot of very positive things about our sponsor of Vite Ramen, and I need to try some Vite Ramen myself as well.
You know, Vite Ramen, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it myself, you know. I myself, like you, Adam, have not had an opportunity to go ahead and really get to try it, but, you know, these guys on the field, they have to have had at least a little bit of something, because they have definitely seemed to have a lot of energy on the field tonight, and have been pretty powered up, as Amplify really just doing a fantastic job. And the Union of Masters didn't really have too many answers in that series. I mean, I just think that maybe that map wasn't in their favor, wasn't their favorite map. Route 66 can be challenging at times, especially if you're not comfortable on it. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can go ahead and bring on Nabani here, and see if they're able to go ahead and get anything cooking in their favor again. I mean, they had such a strong first series and really showed what they can do with their tanks, as Penguin did a fantastic job on that Reinhardt in that first series. And Papa Bless with that supporting Diva and the Mei were just such huge factors in that first round. And I don't want to see this team kind of be, you know, one trick. You know, you have to rely on the Mei to be effective. But sometimes, you know, you're more comfortable on a set of players, and that can kind of hinder teams. So I'm excited to see what they're able to bring to the field here in this next series, as we see the same comp coming out of this Element Amplify squad.
And now, yeah, Shiro's going to be going for the Sombra, and I'm thinking he wants to do some he's back to doing more hacking action. It's worked before in Route 66. Why not do it again in New Bonnie when you're alongside a Reaper player in Candy Pop? This comp really worked well for them, and they're gonna do a run back on it. Although meanwhile, Kalkator is gonna start things off taking out Sauron, but Candy Pop taking out Xiu, so start things off with the trade-off. And meanwhile, Diva player getting massively damaged so far, and Calc Teacher ended up getting hit with a Discord, or Vulture's gonna get hacked, so no running away for him at the moment, but he's not running away so far. But they should take some awareness when someone's at the point, and they start to be aware, but not gonna matter much. Look at all the damage is being done. This first team fight's gonna be going to Element Amplify, and looks like they may pretty much get this point A, and looks like Union Master's probably gonna be retreating, re-strategizing.
Yeah, they definitely got to go ahead and get their head in the game. I mean, Amplify has definitely upped the ante here on these last maps. They have capped this one surprisingly fast, able to go ahead and just wipe Union and Masters off the map. And it just seems like they may have lost their luster that we saw in that first series. I mean, they do have a couple very valuable ults coming up here, Walter and Papa Bless, but you got to watch Shiro in that back line as he is looking for an opportunity to go ahead and get behind them and cause some havoc.
Oh, if I had to guess who he would hack next, I'd be guessing he'll hack probably Xiu next, because you hack Tracer, there's nothing you can do. There's a pulse bomb coming out, and not gonna happen. Keep a player saying, nah, get out of the field. Now Candy Pop taking off Kakator, that's a big support up, but the side of Amplify is gonna lose their big DPS in Candy Pop, unfortunately, in this team fight. And lots of trade-offs, but so far we got 3 ults each on standby, but the big one you need to look out for, like we have been, is the EMP. Candy Pop's gonna go behind, trying to do something. I think he got spotted saying, yeah, I'm getting out of there. And now, no Megan, but gonna get the ult off, but not gonna get it. She's saying, no, you're not getting back in the mech so easily. Here comes the angry gorilla, just trying to get in that space. Just not quite able to get in there. Now is able to get in there, and was aware of that tactical visor, which took out Whisper, and Sorrow will take Walter out to avenge him. And unfortunately, though, they're gonna have to regroup because they lost too many players, and this payload is pretty much still in their favor.
This is more of the Union of Masters that we were used to seeing in that first series. They are kind of starting to look like they're getting a hang of things again. Maybe they had some communication issues or just weren't working as a cohesive unit. And now we're kind of seeing them kind of go ahead and get themselves under control, get their heads wrapped on the situation here, as we're seeing a lot of good picks here early. And whether it's Union of Masters playing better or it's Element Amplify going ahead and just making unnecessary mistakes, as there goes the minefield down the field with Sound Barrier coming out from Amplify, and there's a huge Diva Bomb taking out 2 key players here.
Oh man, that really helps out. And oh, Penguin getting a kill on Calcutta. But I gotta say, that was a very interesting place to put a minefield in. But even that does help keep the side of Element Amplify back on there. Personally, as a Hammond player myself, I usually try to go for a minefield at a high area place, but I have to give some credit to Sauron. That was a pretty creative minefield there. But now Candy Pop will have a Death Blossom on standby. I bet he'll try to shadow step behind to try to catch Union of Masters off guard. Xiu will take Shiro out. No hacks for you today. Sauron gets instantly deleted thanks to help from Calc's Discord Orb. Man, Xiu has a lot of damage with the Tracer. Pretty much a tank shredder, judging from personal experience. Papa Bless will take out Candy Pop. So that's gonna delay the Death Blossom a little longer, possibly for the next team fight. But look at this. You got a Transcendence that could be a game saver if need to be, if he's not caught by the EMP, that is. And you have both DPS ults on standby. You got the Pulse Bomb. Just hopefully the Diva player doesn't see it coming. The Pulse Bomb play does go off, but doesn't work out too well. And Candy Pop makes sure that Xiu pays for it. 4 people get hit. Oh my goodness, Candy Pop benefiting from the EMP and takes out 3 in that play. Well, 2 of them, and yes! Oh man, the EMP really is a killer of momentum when the situation arises.
You gotta be really careful on those pushes. I mean, Candy Pop, beautiful Death Blossom going ahead and getting a lot of value out of that. And they're gonna go ahead and look to get more value out of possibly this Diva Bomb. See if a Diva player is able to go ahead and get some more value like we saw on Route 66. And possibly switch the momentum here. But you do have some ults on the Union of Master side that you really have to be wary of. They have the minefield, they have the attack visor, and they have Transcendence, which could really heavily factor into this next team fight.
Yeah, but both Transcendences could be savers, especially if you got attack visor or the really a big bane to any Hammond player that drops a minefield, and then the Transcendence just comes in and just destroys them all without harming the team at all. I've dealt with that a lot during my days playing as the adorable hamster. So now we got back to the match. Rally does come out. There's going to be some armor bonus there. The Diva player will go on top and activate the self-destruct. Not going to get anyone there. And Penguin will take out Sauron in the Battle of Hamsters with some assistance from Calc, which also helps Papa take out Candy as well. So Calc pretty much getting some pretty good Discord or value out of it, and Cactular will take out Calteacher himself, and we're seeing these Zen Yada Discord orb values coming out of both, and it seems right now Cactular's getting more of the value as his teammates are able to reap the benefits of these. And now you got 23 seconds left. You got 4 outs on standby, but you gotta worry most about a potential EMP that could be happening, and we've seen this many times before. EMP comes out and it just pretty much turns around and that team's favor. There comes both minefields, and now the Shiro will activate EMP, and the Cactuar will have the Transcendence out on standby, and that is going to be a hold for Union of Masters. Some decent ult usage out of that. Despite the EMP just coming out of Shiro, they were not phased. They were well prepared for that moment, and that's how they're going to hold. Unfortunately, we do have a pause. I think Whisper, unfortunately, had a disconnect. Some internet issues have been happening in this game, though, but let's go back. You've mentioned before, Union Masters are starting to look like themselves with what their gameplay was, being able to win these team fights, and able to just now do a hold on the third point of Nubani.
Yeah, they definitely went ahead and were able to shut down this Amplify squad, which definitely got a strong start on this map. They went ahead and capped the first point rather quickly, which was, to say the least, very surprising. That Union of Masters was caved that quickly, and it was kind of concerning because you saw your team just kind of crumble very, very quickly, and that can be disheartening at times and can really go ahead and hurt morale. And they came back in a very surprising fashion and didn't let them face them at all. They went ahead and held for a fairly decent time on that second point at that chokehold before they were able to get pushed back to the final point, and even then, they still held pretty much right around that bend and didn't allow them to go ahead and push too far. And I think the main thing that factored into that was a little bit more team play. They had some good angles on them. The Soldier definitely got a lot of impact on it with the Tracer, and you just had a lot of damage coming from a lot of different angles, and I think it just threw Amplify off for a loop. And that can be attested on both sides, because that was kind of what happened on the last map with Shiro switching to the Sombra. It definitely threw things for a different kind of perspective for Elma Amplify.
And I gotta say, indeed, it's gonna be pretty much, if we're gonna see a lot of switches happening between those two, this is gonna be a battle of who can adjust the best. We're seeing these adjustments right now out of the Union of Masters. Walter staying on the Soldier 76. I know not as much healing going on for both sides, going to Brigitta's and Sylvia going to Brigitta, and Whisper, unfortunately, was disconnected. I think was it Lucio, I think, and last if I recall correctly. Brigitta, excuse me. Yeah, both sides going to Brigitta and the Zenyatas. I know not as much healing, but when you go flailing around with the mace, does help provide quite a bit of area healing. But there's gonna be some times, although this, let's say later in the map when comps change, they might have to go for some more direct healing. But anywho, let's go back. Let's go back to Route 66. Shiro hacks, and Shiro gonna shut you down. How many times has he been able to pull off a ton of EMPs? Like some multi-EMPs. Especially the 6-man EMP at the end of, or at the third point of Route 66, which helped Cactuar pretty much get 3 easy coalescence kills, and pretty much helped secure a team fight there, which helped out in the end to hold the point and eventually Amplify to win Route 66.
Yeah, Shiro definitely did a good job on the Sombra. I mean, you really got to hand it to him. He caused a lot of disruption on Union of Masters and made it where their jobs were definitely not easy, and he became a very big target very quickly within Route 66, and I think that was realized in this match. They didn't allow him to get a lot of footholds on the map. He didn't have time to go ahead and flank, and while we're waiting for Whisper to go ahead and reconnect, you know, it is good to talk about these players. I mean, Shiro's impact is definitely noticeable. Maybe not so much in the first match, because every time they went Symmetra, it just didn't really seem to work for him. So I really think that Sombra is the role that we're probably going to see him play for the remainder of the evening, and what could be one of the most influential roles, because even though he may not be getting a ton of kills, he is definitely making a huge impact and making it a lot easier for his team to go ahead and mop up the rest of the field.
Yeah, definitely a man to look out for. Definitely someone to look out for throughout the rest of the match. How many multi-man EMPs are we going to see out of Shiro? We've seen a lot of. We did see that just moments ago, although that didn't matter as much because Union of Masters was ready that time. I think, if I recall correctly, Shiro only got 2 EMP'd on that one, but definitely someone to look out for on the side of Amplify as we switch the sides as Amplify goes on the defense and Union of Masters goes on the offense. It'll be interesting to see, although I wouldn't be surprised if they go the same comps as they were. They're thinking, if these comps work out, why not? Why change them in the first place?
I know, they definitely don't want to change something that's already working. You got a lot riding in these team comps, and if you change something and all of a sudden your team comp just doesn't work, it is such a huge disappointment for the team going forward. And Shiro still staying on that camera, we're still seeing the zombie comp, and they're doing a good job of utilizing the space on the field and their abilities. But whether or not Union Masters is fully adjusted is up to question at the moment. They do have a fair bit to go, and I mean, it could be difficult for them.
And here we are. We got the Pharmacy on the side of Union Masters. Walter and Sylvia is going to be trying out that comp. Papa Bless is going to be going for the Sigma this time around. Be interesting to see what has happened. So, three teammates going to be changing their heroes for this one. Trying to see what's happened, but Candy Pop starting things off, taking out Shiyu, Whisper taking out Calculator, and then it looks like this might be a retreat for Union. They've already lost 3 members.
Yeah, they wanted to go back and get a swap. Shiyu switching to the Cassidy to get a little bit of hit scan, possibly, or maybe a stun to deal with Shiro, who has been pretty much just a huge nuisance, as he's going to look at maybe the Pharah to go ahead and hack that, which would be a huge bit of value.
Oh yeah, see, Walter got lucky, was able to get a strike on Shiro, who was trying to hack either him or Sylvia, and had to go ahead and retreat. So just a little bit of an unlucky moment, although not as lucky as Union of Masters. Already 3 members of them are taken out, make that 4, and maybe another retreat. And so far, this Amplified defense is looking pretty solid.
Yeah, they have been holding fairly strong, and they're burning a lot of valuable time for Union of Masters, and they have an interesting tactic here on their pushes. I'm not entirely sure what they're trying to do, but separating your team usually isn't the thing you want.
Yeah, you definitely not want to be separated at all. However, you see Walter almost was able to get the first tick there by himself, but not gonna matter. Shiro's gonna catch him, he's gonna hack him, he's gonna kill him as well, and that's another team fight win. You saw the Coalescence already activated, and now you go from bad to worse, and you got an EMP on standby now. They're gonna be switching. Walter and Shiro are gonna be, and Sylvia are gonna be going Reaper, Tracer, Brigitte, or I should say Lucio, make up your mind, and Cactus are going to Baptiste respectively. Now Walter, never mind, going to May. I'm thinking, oh man, I can't keep track of what's going on anymore. What is going on here? On the other side, meanwhile, 4 ults about to be on standby. If you thought this defense looked more solid than they did now, wait until the ult uses. Meanwhile, Walter able to take it. Oh my goodness, 5 members of Union taken by the EMP, and that results in the deaths of both the support lines at the hands of the Death Blossom, at a courtesy of Candy Pop, the Diva player, taking care of 2 others. That's a quick team fight win, and you only had to use 2 ults in that one. You're down to 40 seconds. What do you do if you're Union of Masters?
I'm not sure what you can do. I'm not entirely sure what their plan has been this entire time, but whatever they've been trying to do has not worked, and you're up against 3 different ults now, and it is not looking good for them as they come into this last 24 seconds. I'm not entirely sure if that was just, they just want to throw this final round, or what entirely has happened, but it just seems like maybe their head isn't entirely in the game here.
And you see the self-destruct activates, not gonna get anything. Xiuna's unable not be able to get a, but Hayden and Walt are able to take Hulk out, so there's something there. But here comes self-destruct of his own, not gonna get any. But 2 members already out on the side of Union. This is not looking good at all for Union and Masters, as the remaining 3 members alive get hacked. Xiu at the full mercy of Amplify, and that could pretty much be it. Amplify is gonna easily hold on Numbani, and they're gonna take this one and go up 2-1 as we had Hanamura, which could potentially be the game, which could potentially be the map points for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Union Masters does here, because they have just been looking rather sloppy coming into this map. They looked good on the first series when they went ahead and got everything that they really wanted done. I don't know, on defense they looked so good, and then as soon as they got on offense, it just all fell apart. And it's just rather interesting to see what they're going to be able to do. They are going to go ahead and take a break here, which may be a good spot for us to go ahead and take a quick intermission, because I don't know about you, Adam, I drink a fair bit of water, and I have been rather uncomfortable.
Yep, so we'll be back in 2 or 3, so don't go anywhere. We got more UDC Overwatch action. We'll see you guys. It's gonna be Hanamura. This is potential match point for
Alright everybody, welcome back to UGC League Season 17 in this Week 8. What a great week indeed for some intermediate gameplay, as Union and Masters currently down in the series with Amplify holding a 2-1 score, which definitely seems like good news for them as they want to go up in seeds, that way they have less of a problem in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely don't want to encounter problems against, especially the top teams, and they don't want to have to worry about that. The higher seeding definitely would matter for Amplify. Definitely important to close out Hanamura, which is, we've seen it a lot in history as this map has been pretty much a turning point in UGC matches. Like, I've always bring up Vanguard against Talentless Esports, even though this is 2-1. In that case, it was 2-0 in the favor of Talentless. Vanguard drew here and then won the last 3. And this is like probably one of the most memorable matches I ever got to cast. I cast that match alongside a fellow UGC caster himself, who goes by the name of Guthix. Oh man, you should have been there, Lightning, when we had that Talentless Esports against Vanguard match.
Definitely sounded like that was a fun match. I don't always get to watch a lot because I am a man of many words. I cast many days, so I don't get I'm gonna watch a lot of stuff. I miss out quite a bit. But as we go ahead and get into this action, I think that it is a good time to say that they are going back to what they feel most comfortable with, as Candy Pop is going ahead and just diving on top of them. Walter DW and Xiuna both get a lot of value out of their characters, as Candy Pop is desperately holding on to sweet dear life, but he will be finally exhausted from his very, very troubled breaths, as Union Masters will go ahead and defend very strongly here.
And they've had some good defensive holds there throughout the series. They've been able to make the stops that they needed to. They've been able to keep solid holds. It's just their offense has been the one that's been struggling throughout this entire series between them and Amplify.
Yeah, it just seems like, like you said, on defense they have everything kind of figured out. But on offense, they have a lot of things that are left up to question whether or not they're able to go ahead and get things done, or go ahead and make the necessary moves in order to counter the defense. And as they go ahead and get on point, they'll just basically corner the Diva, and that is huge, but they get out of there very quickly. But in turn, Shiro, Candy Pop, and Cal Teacher will be dropped. Whisper does get the boop on Walter DW, but that is pretty much the only one that will fall for Union Masters here on defense, as they go ahead and just recollect themselves on point, as Whisper's gonna go ahead and dip out of there with life in hand, the only one from his team to go ahead and make it out of that point live.
Yeah, you're not gonna get this point just yet, and all you're gonna do is just feed Union Masters more ultimate charge. This team already has 4 ultimates on standby, if that's not bad enough for Amplify.
Yeah, they haven't been able to go ahead and get a lot of value out of their attacks yet, as there goes another Maywall, putting up quite the barricade in their way, as the Ryans are just buckling down and showing off. High Noon coming out, Blizzard coming out, all the ults are there too, taken down by the High Noon. The Diva gets the D-Mech on Amplify's Diva, and everyone will be dropped, and the stagger will come out on the poor baby Diva, who is just being absolutely bullied, and will finally be sent backpacking.
Oh man, we see this too many times. When you only have a baby Diva left, they just don't put her out of her misery right away. They just have to make her keep suffering. They see this way too many times there, but it's great strategy from a opposing team to that the Diva doesn't get the ult just as quickly as before.
Stop Diva abuse, says there goes the Diva bomb, but it doesn't get anybody. And Candy Pop does have death loss and 4 people on point. This is good for Amplify. They're gonna go ahead and get the 3rd take possibly, and Creo does make it back, but for no avail. Not necessarily why they went ahead and committed on point. They were able to go ahead and possibly just retreat back to B point and let them go ahead and have it, but with 3 minutes 25 seconds left, this is looking good for Amplify here.
Okay, bullying the baby Diva on the opposing team, that's like meeting on the logo of who you're facing on the road. It just doesn't work out in the end. Like that instance there, they got the point.
And there goes a Death Blossom. Does catch Shiu. That is all the value they got out of it. Papa Bless being taken out. And it looks like Amplify is just steamrolling through the point here. No defense to be worried about as they go ahead and secure one tick. May secure the second tick as there goes a Hybrid down as the action continues here on point. They're trying so hard. That is a huge Rhine Slam, taking out a lot of players off that top point here. And this may actually help Union Masters quite a bit as Amplification Matrix does go down. High Noon popping out. Doesn't get any value on the Cassidy. Does go ahead and get Whisper finally. And the Maywall gonna go ahead and separate the field here and allow Union Masters some very much needed time to breathe as the Symmetra teleport does come into effect here, taking out Union Masters handling themselves fairly well here after that confusion early. As here comes D.Va going ahead and pop a place with the mech, with the D.Va bomb. Has some options here. Will they go ahead and see here in this fight as possible? But they decide to hold it for the next one instead, which may be very smart.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky to be able to capture the second points on all the assault maps, given with how the defense is close to the point with where their spawn point is. This is basically the case with, like I said, all other assault maps like Temple of Anubis and Volskaya Industries. So basically, if you're the offense, you gotta win many team fights in a row without losing many players.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful. You don't want to drop too many players at the start. Our shield is low, but we'll go ahead and be healed up as we now have D.Va bombs on both sides of the field, and we know how that went last time on Route 66. As here comes one. It goes up, but it will be blocked by the Rhine. Very good ult economy for Union and Masters. They are being very smart with their draws here as the Death Blossom is now had by Candy Pop, but he will be taken out and frozen before he's able to go ahead and use it. Papa Bless still clutching on to that D.Va bomb, and it is very smart playing from Union and Masters.
It is smart, but however, you do have Shiro with the Photon Barrier on standby that can potentially cause that self-destruct to go for nothing if Shiro can time that Photon Barrier correctly.
Yeah, there goes the TP on a point, and we're right in it as the Symmetra wall comes out. That is not a good Symmetra wall. There goes the D.Va bomb from the top, down on top, and doesn't get anyone, but the Reaper doesn't get anyone either. Shiu does take out one with the Deadeye. Some ults let loose, but not a lot of value to be had as Blizzard now up for Walter DW, and it looks like a retreat is in order for Amplify here.
Yeah, I don't think I like the Photon Barrier placement on that last team fight, and now this is just desperation time. I don't think anybody's... Oh, there it is. Never mind. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, and Shiro does get on, but immediately denied by Shiu, who gets some sweet, sweet revenge for the countless hacks that were had in the last series. And I'm pretty sure Shiu is laughing to himself silently in the background.
Oh man, how many times has Shiu been hacked by Shiro? Just how many times has Shiro managed to hack both the DPS players throughout this series? It's just basic torture. You can't do anything, especially if you're a Tracer player or Doomfist player. Oh man, you're very limited when you're hacked. It's just all your abilities are gone. You have to rely on your abilities to get great results, and without those, you basically drop all the way to bottom tier at this rate.
Yeah, you basically become what is known as a Zarya. I don't want to throw too much shade, but in terms of... ooh, Shiro going on the Junkrat. Quite an interesting pick here. And Candy Pop going with the McCree, or Cassidy. I can't say McCree anymore. That's not his name. But that's not my name.
But yeah, I like this. This is very interesting. I think he's trying to put I think he's preparing for the teleporter on this one. We're gonna see how this is gonna unfold.
It could be absolutely big brain time as they pull out the 500 IQ plays here on Union Masters. They go top left, but that is some good advancement here. Now, they are just going to collapse on the A point, so a little bit interesting here, but they will dive on the point with that Maywall. That's huge, as Siren is frozen and dropped dangerously low. Good immortality field from the Baptiste there, Cow Teacher, who gets taken out. And the first blow is to be had by Union and Masters, and they are just absolutely pile driving through this point. Penguin popping off not to be trifled with, as he will build some very much needed ult charge here off of the Amplify team.
Oh man, I liked you. I think saw the jump around the other team. I was anticipating that Xiuna was gonna trap him with the teleport, so instead of going straight to the point, they just take the high road instead, and I don't think Amplify saw that coming until it was a little too late.
And too little too late is never a good thing in Overwatch, as there goes an Ashe on the field now, as Candy Pop switching from the Cassidy to the Ashe to try to maybe get something cooking. The Junkrat Riptire is coming out, here it comes, coming from the heavens, from the sky, into the back, it gets nobody! It's nullified! What an immortality field from Calculator, as the field is just wiped of any trace of Union Masters. And they are going to be taken off the point here, possibly, as the baby team are the only one left up. And Papa Bless looks like he's just gonna jump off the field and take his nice scenic route down to the bottom of the field.
So anyways, yeah, like I said, your defense, you're near the point, so you pretty much have an advantage here in the second point. I know the second point's the easiest to capture for offense, but like with all assault maps, you're in for a difficult time if you're on offense. However, you could have some easiness of difficulty with a Blizzard on standby, courtesy of Walter.
Yeah, Walter has been such a huge impact, and they did fake the left flank and went to the right, and now going in the middle. I'm not sure what they're doing. There goes the teleport. They're on point. They were not ready for this. There goes sound barrier. The Blizzard coming out. Symmetric turrets everywhere, and these guys on Amplifier just being eaten alive. And the Diva Bomb doesn't get anyone. Does get the remake kill on Penguin. That is a huge one. Papa Blessed with the Diva Bomb now. Doesn't get anybody. The Symmetra Wall, a little bit better than the last one we saw, but not entirely so useful. But the Hammer Down will get canceled by the wall, as Sauron gonna be dropped. Xiu getting a lot of value, and there we go. Union and Masters taking this one back, and we are now 2-2 tied on Hanamura.
I think they're starting to look like themselves from back when they were playing at Lijiang Tower, don't you think so? And they did start to look a little like themselves at Umbani, but they're slowly looking like themselves again. Look at this Xiu. Look at the melting of his opponents there, in 18 objective kills. That's out of the 32 eliminations he had there. Really great at playing on the point there. So, folks, are you guys ready for the final map of this great series as we head to high in the mountains? It's gonna be bitter cold, but what good way to heat up this competition than Nepal?
Yeah, possibly one of the more interesting maps, in my opinion. One of my more favorite maps. As a Diva player myself, I do like Nepal for a lot of versatility options. You got a lot of flank routes you can take, and the fight normally goes for that stairs, so Diva typically gets a lot of value on this map. Another character that we're probably gonna see is Orisa or Lucio for the pool, or the Boops off of the map, or even Roadhog could be a good pick with that chasm on the side of the point. See some good value come out of that, and a lot of confusion as well.
So as we see, but it does all depend. Where will we start with? Will we start inside the temple? Will we start at that center, or will we start at the village? That's the question. Where will we start? These strategies could depend on where to start, but I wouldn't be surprised if Shiro goes back to the Sombra, which really helped him and his team out in Route 66 in New Bonnie. Like, by the way, back at New Bonnie, didn't quite say this yet, had 17 EMPs against the Union of Masters, and those 17 EMP'd resulted in 12 offensive assists.
Yeah, that is a large amount, and the only really consistent factor I think across these teams is Papa Bless has been on the Diva the entire time, but Shiro has been putting in work on that on the Sombra, and it is such a difficult character to go ahead and really put on the field, Because sometimes you just get stunned, you get focused immediately because the threat is realized very quickly by most teams that you really don't want a Sombra running around your backlines hacking everybody and just making your day not so great. It's not a fun time when you don't have ability to go around the field at supersonic pace.
Now we get to see what's in Candy Pop has been popping off as Reaper during most of this. A lot of Death Blossom kills, but most of those Death Blossom kills, you can credit that to Shiro as Sombra. Whether it's someone's hacked or EMP, that's where most of those offensive assists came from, was his teammates' ultimates going off at the very right time. And if you talk cohesion, there's your example. Shiro and Candy Pop. There is a lot of cohesion chemistry with those two.
Yeah, they have been having a fair bit of success. I mean, it has just been absolutely a dynamic duo. And Penguin and Papa Bless have definitely started to come back online as well as the dynamic duo for Union of Masters, like we saw in that first match and like we saw on the last one in Hanamura. So, I mean, you got ways to go for Union Masters in terms of team stability, but I really think they can go ahead and kind of pull themselves together here in Nepal, and we will be outside in the village with a nice bustling snowy area.
Well, it may be cold in Overwatch world in Nepal, but man, this match between Union Masters and Amplify is really heating up when what could come down to pretty much the wire here, and I called it. Shiro and Candy Pop going Sombra and Reaper respectively. This duo has been, this zombie DPS comp has been working like a charm for Amplify, and they're gonna go ahead and keep this up.
And Shiro's absolutely destroyed by Penguin, going ahead and throwing the fire in his face, not letting him get anywhere near Walter DW or Shio, as they are holding on to this point. They don't want them anywhere near it, as there goes a Maywell on the point. That's gonna cause a lot of confusion. Sloran is singled out by the entirety of Union Masters, and just like that, they are starting to drop players. Candy Pop's out, Shio is traded, but they will go ahead and not get Calc Teacher. Calc Teacher got low, but is able to go ahead and heal back up here on the back lines as Sauron and Shiro now rejoining the fight. Almost get a hack off. Won't be able to go ahead and get it done though, as they go ahead and go back to the fight on the point. They are doing a good job of bunker down, and that is a huge kill on Whisper. Sauron just deleted by Shiu, and the D-Mech. Shiu is just full power right now, dropping people left and right. Creo with 2 melee kills. Creo just rocking around and bopping noggins left and right.
And they're doing a great job just shutting down Shiro and Candy Pop's zombie duo comp, and they're gonna force Shiro to switch over to the Mei as well to try to get things slowed down. Well, I think Union of Masters is a team possessed right now. They got a Blizzard on standby, which could really devastate things, along with 3 other ults, I might add.
Yeah, and there goes some ult usage out. Sombra barrier coming out. You got the Blizzard, you got the hammer, and everyone. It may have been a little bit too premature to go ahead and use all the ultimates right out the get bat, but Calculor does go ahead and get the amplification matrix for their troubles.
Well, you do have the support ults on standby to help keep a team healthy and alive. The amplification matrix can help provide a boost in damage if need to be. The immortality field, if not used yet, can help keep a time alive. There it is right now. There's the support ults, and let's hope it keep them alive for this final push.
Well, here comes the Death Blossom. It is dropping people low, but the immortality field comes in clutch. Diva Bomb on the field from Papa Bless. Doesn't get any value out of it, but Penguin being dropped, Cocktolor being dropped. However, they do exchange for the DPS, as now Papa Bless gonna go ahead and try to hold, and they will do just that as Sauron not able to go ahead and get back on point in time, as his little armored toes could not go ahead and cross the threshold in time.
That could be a huge backbreaker if Union ends up winning this map and the series. We could go back to that moment. Had he not had the barrier up, he probably would have gotten there in time. But we will never know. But Oh man, like I said, we're gonna be looking at that moment if Union ends up winning this series, especially if they win the final round, that is.
Yeah, I mean, if this really is what settles it, it's definitely going to be a tough pill to swallow. A interesting comp coming here from Amplify. I'm not entirely sure what to call this comp, but it is a dive comp nonetheless, in my opinion, as you have the Wrecking Ball, you have the Diva, and a Tracer and Echo, but you no longer have a Zenyatta, as Calc Teacher is just sent backpacking. As this team from Union Masters is just doing a fantastic job now of holding their own. Whisper on the brig, held pretty low. We'll go ahead and finally heal up. The Echo taken out. Shiro being dropped by Shu, which is again some more sweet revenge for some very, very unlikely action. And Shiro will switch back to the Sombra now.
Oh man, I bet Shiro's thinking, oh, I'm about to hack Xiuna, and I'm about to ruin this day. Meanwhile, as I say that, as Walter will take out Sauron right away. That's one less tank you're gonna have to worry about during this next team fight.
Yeah, they're really gonna have to count on that impact of Sombra coming in clutch as they go for what seems to be the left flank, but here comes Shiro from the back line behind everybody. He hacks Creo, and will go ahead and retreat as Candy Pop and the Zarya are going to be taken out of play. Rather interesting to see the Zarya on the field, as a bubble with the Hammond is definitely interesting, to say the least.
It's very interesting indeed. Like, if you're trying to go in the inside, go for some aggression for Sauron, just get the bubble in there, try to get some energy going up, but yeah, like you said, it's a very interesting comp, and meanwhile, Candy Pop takes taken out. There's no pulse bomb for this next fight.
Yeah, no pulse bomb gets frozen immediately. She with the Deadeye will go ahead and draw out some time here as he does get Zarya in the process. Soundberry coming out, or the minefield. Shio getting 2 kills, dropping Whisper and Shiro out of the fight. Papa Blast taking out Calc Teacher. So there goes the Transcendence, as this could be it with 94%.
Especially when you got a Blizzard on standby, which could pretty much stop him in the tracks, and you got the stuff. There it is right now, and we're gonna see this. Seeing this effect right now, but this Transcendence will be in effect for this final fight.
Transcendence is up merely by time at this second, and they're trying so hard. Candy Pop on point, but gets smacked in the face by the backhand from Creo. Sauron on the point now gets eliminated by Penguin, and that will be it, as Union Masters able to go ahead and hold on for the long haul and take it in 5.
Yeah, see, with a great job that they did making adjustments, especially just looking like themselves again, after, like when Hanamura came in. But look at this, taking out the Zarya player, takes out Whisper, and gets hacked. Well, and still taking out Shiro. Oh man, Shiro just had enough of that. But Walter, 12 objective kills out of the 20 eliminations he had in Nepal there. So if we had to have an not EMP, an MVP of the match, who would it be in your opinion there, Lightning? If I had to guess, I would have to say either Shiyu, or I would say Penguin, because of did a really nice job with the tanking.
Well, in my opinion, I have to go with either Papa Bless or Shiro. Papa Bless has had Shiyu. Yeah, we're gonna go with Shiyu. He has been a fantastic DPS player, and behind him, I have to say my second pick probably would have been Papa Bless, because all the kill participation he got out of that Diva was impressive. A lot of strong plays, especially eating the Dragon Strike on Route 66 was very impressive. But she just edging him out, getting a lot of valuable kills and a lot of valuable time on the field, will be your Week 8 intermediate match of Union Masters and Element Amplify MVP.
Oh man, just how many times has he been hacked by Shiro, and yet continued to persevere? Like, especially that one kill on the play of the game there. Like, how many times? I want to say at least double digits, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, he got hacked a lot. He was not happy when he came out of Route 66. He was having a bad time. But sometimes you gotta go through the bad times to get the good times, and obviously they're having a good time tonight, as they did go ahead and win tonight, which is gonna go ahead and potentially help them out in standings. I'm hoping that Xiuna Masters is able to go ahead and maybe climb a couple of spots here and there to get a little bit of easier time in the playoff brackets. But for Amplify, their journey only got a little bit more difficult as they go ahead and look at the looming playoffs, as they may be going against one of the top 5 seeds. Actually, I don't even think that's a maybe. I think that's a definite at this point.
So now, with an easier time before playoffs, of just a little bit, but I think they want to go against as lower of a seed as possible, and Xiuna Masters did just that. They looked fantastic in our first control map of Lijiang Tower. They looked dominant, and then we get to Route 66 as well as Numbani. They seemed to struggle. They struggled more when they were on defense. They were struggling in Route 66, and then it was kind of a reversal in Numbani. Their defense started to look solid, but their offense was struggling. And then what do? In Hanamura, they started looking like themselves. They had some good strategies, especially when Shiro, I think, was on the Junkrats on defense, going for the trap, anticipating the teleporter to be right at point, and instead, I think she was on the Symmetra at the time, just able to do the teleporter going on the high ground instead, and Amplify didn't see that coming until it's too late, and that's how they helped them get point A and eventually win Hanamura. And then now they go to Nepal, and they look like their dominant selves from Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, they definitely had their ups and downs throughout the match. A lot of stuff to be worked on, but that has to be expected of this intermediate division. By no means are they perfect. So there's a lot of things to be gleaned from these matches, and you know, you got a lot of time to go ahead and learn from your mistakes and adjust. But you know, we can only go ahead and stay on air for so long, even though I would love to go ahead and just keep talking all night. I think that is where we're gonna call it for tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you all so very much for tuning in tonight for this Season 17 Week 8 intermediate match. I've been Lightning. If you would like to go ahead and find me, you can follow me on Twitter at LightningCasts. And I post my schedule there quite frequently. I have not done that as of late because I am lazy and I don't feel like posting it. But if not there, you can find me on Twitch at BlackLightningRL. And Mr. Adam, where can these fine people find you?
And you can find me on Twitter at the Adamsmasher. You keep up to date on whenever I go live on Twitch, which I am at twitch.tv/AdamSmasher93, where you can catch me playing some variety of games if that's what you enjoy, especially World of Warcraft on Wednesdays, and lately I've been playing Halo on Thursdays. But yeah, next week, it's playoff time, folks. Hope you guys are ready for some playoffs, and like I said, alongside Lightning and Xiuna, our fantastic UGC producer, I'm Adamsmasher, saying good night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.